video, we're going to take a deep dive into the vast Atlantic Ocean. Just right next to Africa land, we have a little island that seems very remote, over 1,600 miles away from anything that can name itself an airport. We have the famous St. Helena Island with a little town called Jamestown. Yes, the very island that Napoleon was sent to and for, exile. An island that's been so far gate-kept from the Microsoft Flight Simulator, as its airport, its little St. Helena airport, is not added in yet. As you can see, here's where a little runway does kind of seem to appear. Yes, but it's not added into the Flight Simulator, so we are limited in discovering the mystery of this incredibly remote island. Until now, because you can now buy St. Helena Airport on the Microsoft Flight Simulator store. I mean, not the airport, not the island, but a scenery pack that adds it into the Flight Simulator. Doesn't this look beautiful? We have the very tiny airport with its tiny runway added in for $10. Let's buy it, I guess, and see if it's getting good. And let's maybe discover the safety standards of an airport that is over 2,000 kilometers away from the nearest mainland, and that is the Africa land. It has a runway that is only 6,300 feet long. Not even 2,000 meters. A combination that very much restricts an airport in terms of operation. Now let's maybe go ahead and fly here with a plane that is very used to flying here, and that is the Airlink E190 from Embraer, the only plane that regularly flies to St. Helena Airport from Africa. Yes, you can only fly to this island from Johannesburg in South Africa, as well as Cape Town and Ascension Island, the closest landmass to St. Helena Airport. Once again, a relatively small plane for such long distances, but that's fine. Let's maybe go ahead and just spawn up onto the ramp. There we go, and this is actually looking quite fine now. Obviously, the island of St. Helena is incredibly rocky, and especially on this side, there's rarely some flat space on the island, so it was very hard to find space for an airport. So what they did here, as you can tell, is kind of use a method of a tabletop runway, which makes this airport kind of look like a cake from this view, from the 01 side of runway. As you can see, this is definitely not an airport where you'd want to overrun. Now we can already have a bit of a look at the island here in the slew mode. We can already see, well, Microsoft really doesn't like this island because it doesn't have satellite coverage. It only has some wind generators, a few houses. I mean, I'm not saying that the island in real life looks like New York City, but you know what I mean. All right, let's maybe go ahead and spawn into the ramp because we have the airport building fully detailed. I mean, check this out. Doesn't this look absolutely beautiful? We've got the airport building indeed. I mean, it's a relatively new airport building as well. This airport was opened in 2016, 7 years ago. Check this out. We've got some people added into the terminal, which is also quite creepy sometimes. Hello there. Good, more people that are waiting for their airplane. I guess the check-in area as well. I mean, there's absolutely no reason for an airport to be as detailed as it is right here. We have got the check-in counter. Overall, I mean, this is not a very big airport building, but there's not too much to explore. Here is the tower. Let's take a look at the air traffic control tower. That's some people here, very highly concentrated, as well as a fuel station. That's good that they have fuel on the island, and I guess what resembles a little car park. Overall, not a big airport at all. Cannot really facilitate many people, but that is fine. Because even if enough people wanted to go here, it is not possible to operate more than 2 arrivals and 2 departures per day. Yes, only 2 planes can land here a day. Yes, because of the small single runway and the long distance to alternate airports, it has been decided that when an aircraft is approaching nearer than halfway from Africa to St. Helena, no other aircraft must go towards the airport. So that there's pretty much only 1 plane operating here at a time because, well, for example, as we just saw recently with the Japan Airlines incident at Tokyo Haneda Airport, in case of an accident, a runway has to be closed down. Because there is only 1 here at this airport, an aircraft coming in for St. Helena would have to choose an alternate. But the next alternate airport is so far away, the E190 probably couldn't do it fuel-wise. This is one of the safety standards that St. Helena does have. The runway has to be open for planes that come in because sometimes they can't turn around anymore. So that's just fun fact. Let's maybe go ahead and fly here. Come on. All right, come on. Let's maybe go ahead and do this. This is a very nice equipped airport runway. I guess we are taking off from the unusual side. Normally in real life, you would come in on the other side. and land here. Overall, the navigation aids, for example, and the equipment on this airport and runway are pretty sophisticated. We have a full ILS approach. There we go. We can take off just fine with a little E90 and they'll fly to Joburg. That is just fine, and that is a flight that happens like twice a week. That's pretty much the only traffic that goes here. Yes, I guess plane spotting isn't super diverse here. You'll definitely spend a while waiting around for planes to come here. All right, let me go ahead and, approach this airport. Because one other issue that this airport has is these cliffs here. Can you see them? In real life, they are even more spectacular. The problem that you always have with such a topography is that it creates turbulence. Especially our good friends, the fall wind, is a problem here, also known as wind shear, which is why when a plane comes in here for this runway, you'll often experience a go-around. But maybe, come on, maybe try a bigger plane than this thing. All right, so welcome aboard the beautiful 7378. Right now, we are approaching our fish airport. St. Helena Airport. Right now we're flying down the localizer approach for runway 19. It seems as though we are a bit low. That is quite standard procedure. We have to stay at 2,900 feet. Once again, we're flying localizer 19er approach. We can see the airport right here. We do have quite a bit of gusty and crusty wind right here, but don't worry, passengers. I will get you down onto the ground very safely. Let's get all the flaps down and stuff. Everything we need. All right, our airport is right down there. We're a little high, and the winds seem actually quite all right. All right, and so just like the first airliner that ever landed here at St. Helena Airport, we're landing now at 737 on the beautiful runway. Let's go ahead and do it. This time we don't have to go around. Everything looks all right. Oh, it does go down quite a bit. Whoa. I would go around now. That was actually quite bad, but I don't really care. Let's go ahead and just touch down here on this runway. It's not that small after all. I mean, we're at sea altitude practically, and so we can pretty much land any plane here that we'd ever want. That was an incredibly bad landing, but hey, we're on the special airline anyway. That's good, and despite our crosswind, we've stopped beautifully. Although for a 737, we don't have that much more runway to go, do we? So this is great. Now, the biggest plane that's ever flown here is the 757. You probably wouldn't find any bigger plane that could ever land here, but that's fine. We should try the 74. I don't think that should be an issue at all. As I already said, this is not the most overrun-friendly airport, though. I mean, we do have a little bit of a bed to overrun. This probably would be like an overrun bed to prevent an overrun over this cliff, but you really wouldn't want to have this happen, do you? I mean, this is technically enough runway to even fly a 747. I guess after all, the 747-8 here is F-rated. It is probably too big to fly to this airport, but I think an older 747-4 or maybe a 2 would definitely be no problem. I mean, the 747 has that at much shorter runways and departed at much shorter runways. And, oh my god, that actually didn't go as well as I'd hoped. There you go, the 747 now has departed out of St. Helena. Not too successfully, but there we go, this has worked just fine. Just like there's surely no way we're not going to be able to land a 747 here. Even an Antonov would be able to fly here technically. I think just on a daily basis, first of all, you wouldn't really find enough passengers to fill up a 747 on the regular basis. Come on, slow down, we're very fast. Oh, you really wouldn't want to have a flap failure here that would have to cause you to land at higher speeds. Come on, there you go, touching down at 150 knots. I think that should be just fine still. The 747-8 is quite a good stopper, even though you have to backtrack here because there's no more taxiway left. If you're brave enough, you can also backtrack using the reverse thrusters. No problem at all. So this is the St. Helena Airport on the St. Helena Island. Definitely an island where it's quite hard to build a good airport. And I think they did really do a good job at realizing this project. Maybe in the future we can fly to here in real life. Until then, we have a pretty cool scenery with a very detailed airport or Microsoft Flight Simulator for $10. Definitely switch this one approved. If you've got 6 hours to spare, you can do a little realistic long-haul flight to our little isolated island. I mean, 6 hours in an E190 sounds horrible. So, but I think I got so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. As always, good night.